All right, so we have another build completed. This one actually is more simple. I don't have a full build video of this because it would kind of be a basic build video, but I will explain the process after I've explained all the parts and the price for those that want to stick around and how you'd build something like this. I will explain it, but this build is actually designed as a office, high-end school slash light gaming PC. And you can see that because we're using the Ryzen 3 3200G, which is an integrated graphics CPU. And we're using, just a normal B450 motherboard, nothing crazy. This motherboard specifically did not come with Wi-Fi, so I did have to include this PCIe Express Wi-Fi slash Bluetooth card, and I will say it works very good. I really like this card. So that's the build. It's obviously something that whoever gets something like this can upgrade in the future. Once they're ready, they can purchase a discrete graphics card, plop it in right there, and the 3200G will run a good graphics card. So that's the build. Now let me go ahead and get into the pricing because I want to be as transparent as possible as how something like this would cost, and then we'll get into a little bit more about how I'd build this. Here's the pricing. You can see it's a 3200G. This motherboard is a LAN-based motherboard. It is on the cheaper end, but the Gigabyte makes good motherboards, especially for something like this where you're not going to be going crazy on it. If you're just using it for normal use, this is a perfect motherboard. The power supply, you only need 550 watts, if not less than that for what you're doing on this, obviously. We went with 500 gigabytes of storage. That's always my base. Whenever I talk about a price for a motherboard, whenever I talk about price for a build, I'm always talking about 500 gigabytes of memory because who knows how much somebody might want in the future, and extra memory doesn't necessarily mean a more expensive computer. It just means that you're paying more for memory on an already priced computer. The RAM, I almost always go with 16 gigabytes of RAM. You can go with 8 gigabytes for maybe around $40. Not much of a difference. 16 gigabytes of RAM is definitely worth it. And we went with the NR400 case, which is now priced at $65. It bounces between $55 and $65 depending on the deal you can get at the time. So in total, the parts cost $434. So this PC essentially is a $430 PC for light gaming and office slash work use. The tax on that would probably be around $36 for me, 8.2% or so. And when I do these builds, these basic builds, I only charge about $50 to do it, to build it, and to do the drivers. So in total, the total amount that the customer at the end paid was about $520. So that's how it's priced. I hope that makes sense. And now let me go ahead and get back to and explain very briefly how you would build this computer. So this computer, essentially, all you have to do is put the CPU chip in the slot right underneath where the fan is right now. It's a simple plop in and lock. You put the fan on top of it, lock it down, put your RAM sticks in the appropriate channels. Your motherboard manual will tell you where to put your memory sticks. And then it's just a matter of putting the motherboard in the case, plugging everything in. You have your 24-pin connector, your 8-pin connector plugged in, and then your front panel headers, you got to plug those in. So USB connector here. Your audio usually goes over here, and your front panel power button with the LED and the reset switch goes here. And that's it. The hard part sometimes is actually making sure that you run all the drivers that you need for Windows. Now, one thing I didn't mention is this guy right here. This is your your M.2 drive that is running. That's an actual storage space. That's your 500 gigabytes M.2, very fast storage. If you need to add extra hard drives, they just get plugged in here to your SATA ports. So that's how you run it. Obviously, it's very basic, but this build, very simple build, and I hope that this video might help somebody out on computer building. Thanks.